Hey guys, welcome back. This is the second lesson for this week. Like I said before, you guys only have 2 lessons. This is the second one. Make sure you get the video keywords submitted for this, as well as getting that assignment turned in, okay, you guys? Alright, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so last time what we were looking at was all the customary unit of measures. So the customary units for length, for capacity, and for weight. Now what we're going to look at is the metric units. So the customary, like I said last time, is the American way of taking and measuring things. The metric system, that is what the rest of the world pretty much uses. Aside from the United States, we have our own system outside of everyone else. But this is the metric system. So when you go to other countries, this is how they are measuring things. So that's why sometimes when you see things with different ways to measure them, it might be because it's from a different country. So how do you convert metric units? So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. 1 meter equals 1,000 millimeters. And 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. Alright. Okay, so those are our different conversions. Those are the most common conversions that we have. Now, this is a number line, essentially, kind of showing you the greatest to the smallest of our metric units of measurements. This is measuring length for this. So, kilometer, that is the largest that we have. So, 1 kilometer represents 1,000 meters. 1 hectometer, we don't typically deal with hectometers, is 100 meters. I can't read my own writing this way. Decameter is 10 meters. 1 meter, obviously 1 meter. 1 decimeter is a tenth of a meter, so 0.1 meters. 1 centimeter is 100th of a meter, so 0.01 meters. And 1 millimeter is 1,000th of a meter, so 0.001 meters. So just like with the customary system, to change from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we're going to multiply. So that stays the same. So always the larger to a smaller, you're always going to multiply. So what we're looking at first is 3 kilometers equals how many meters? Well, a kilometer, or a kilometer, is larger than a meter. So 1 kilometer equals 1,000 meters. So, sorry, let me get my marker opened up. 1 second. So we're going to multiply on this, and because we know 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer, we're going to take 3 times 1,000, which is going to give us 3,000 meters. So in 1 kilometer, there are 3,000 meters. All right, so just like before, to go from a smaller unit, oops, that got all erased. Smaller units to larger units, we divide. So that is still holding true from what we did with the customary system. So that's the nice thing about our conversions, is it's going to stay the same how we take and do it. So whether we multiply or divide, depending on the size of our units, that stays the same. So here we have 1,200 centimeters is blank meters. So a centimeter is smaller than a meter. It takes 100 centimeters to equal 1 meter. So we're going to take this 1,200 and we're going to divide by 100, since it takes 100 meters to equal 100 centimeters to equal 1 meter, sorry. So how many times can 100 go into 120? Well, it can go in there once. 100, we subtract. 120 minus 100 is going to give us just 20. We bring down our 0. How many times can 100 go into 200? Well, it can go in there twice. We get 200. Works out perfect. So 1,200 centimeters equals 12 meters. All right, now a few for practice. Goodness, I can't figure out that flexion. Maybe, kind of, sort of. Okay, So 1,000 centimeters equals how many meters? Well, once again, we're dealing with centimeters, which is smaller, to meters, which is larger. Excuse me, sorry. So we're going to take and divide. So we're going to have the 1,000 divided by, well, there's 100 centimeters for every 1 meter. So 1,000 divided by 100. 100 can fit into 100 once. Bring down the 0. 100 can fit into 0 times. So it's 10 meters. So 1,000 centimeters is the same thing as 10 meters. All right, now we have 58 meters equals how many millimeters? Now, millimeters are smaller, so it takes 1,000 millimeters to equal 1 meter. So because we're going from larger to smaller, we're going to multiply. So we're going to take our 58 and multiply it by 1,000, because like I said, it takes 1,000 millimeters to equal 1 meter. So 58 times 1,000 is going to give us 58,000 millimeters. All right, so this is our metric units for length. So these are all ways to measure the length of something. So this is the metric system. So just like with the customary system, we're going to have length, capacity, and weight. So make sure you have this. Make sure you know what ones are the larger. Okay? All right. Our next one, if I can find my board. Sorry about that. Is capacity. So just like with our customary, we went from length to capacity. So notice we only have one conversion. 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters. So you only have to worry about one relationship here. But this is our metric units of capacity. Pardon me. Okay, so to change from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we are still going to multiply. So we have 2 liters equals how many milliliters? Well, we're multiplying. So 2 times 1,000 equals 2,000. So we have 2,000 milliliters. Now, same as before, to change from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we are going to divide. So we're going to take our 3,000 milliliters and we're going to divide it by 1,000 to find out how many liters. So 3,000 divided by 1,000. 1,000 can go into 3,000 3 times. So 3,000 milliliters equals 3 liters. All right, the next one, some more to practice with. We have 250 liters equals how many milliliters? So once again, we're going from a larger to a smaller, so that means we multiply. So we're going to take 275 and multiply it by 1,000. So we end up with 275,000 milliliters. All right, we've got 5 liters equals how many milliliters? So just like up here, we're going from a larger to a smaller, so we multiply. So 5 times 1,000 is going to give us 5,000. All right, over here we've got 34,000 milliliters equals how many liters? Well, here we're going from smaller to larger, so we have to divide. So 34,000 divided by 1,000. 1,000 can go into 34,000 34 times. And that is perfectly acceptable with these. When we're taking and dividing, you don't have to do all the workout. I imagine most of you right off the bat, if I ask you what 34,000 divided by 1,000 is, you're going to tell me it's 34, at least I hope. So you don't have to take and show that work on here. These ones are fairly easy conversions. All right, so 25,000 milliliters to liters. Once again, we're going to divide. So we're taking 25,000. We're dividing it by 1,000. The zeros all cancel. 25 divided by 1 is just 25. So 25,000 milliliters equals 25 liters. So this is the metric units of capacity, metric units. So metric, as you've been hearing me say numerous times through this lesson, metric is your key word for this lesson. Metric is your key word for the lesson. All right, and our last one. So in this case, instead of calling it weight, we call it mass, but that means the exact same thing. So weight and mass just means how much it weighs, how much the weight of it, how heavy it is. That's our way of thinking of that. So mass and weight, you can think of those as interchangeable in this sense. So we have 1,000 milligrams equals 1 gram, and 1,000 grams equals 1 kilogram. So these are our most common used. So same thing. To change from a larger unit to a smaller unit, we multiply. So going from 600 grams to milligrams, 1 gram equals 1,000 milligrams. So that means we're going to multiply by 1,000. So 600 times 1,000. So 6 times 1 is 6. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 600 grams is the same thing as 600,000 milligrams. All right, the next one. To change from a smaller unit to a larger unit, we divide, just like before. So we've got 13,000 grams equals how many kilograms? Well, 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams, so we're going to divide by 1,000. So 13,000 divided by 1,000. The zeros all go away. So 13,000 grams is the same thing as 13 kilograms. All right, our practices down at the bottom. So 925 grams is how many milligrams? So grams is that larger or smaller than milligrams? It's larger, so that means we have to multiply. So we're going to multiply by 1,000. So 925 times 1,000 gives us 925,000. 19 grams to kilograms. Grams to kilograms. Are we going from smaller to larger or larger to smaller? Smaller to larger, which means we divide. So we're going to take that 19,000 and divide it by 1,000. The zeros go away. 19 divided by 1 is 19. All right, the last one. We're going from 1 million milligrams to kilograms. Now, we do not have a direct conversion up here to do that. So first we're going to have to go from milligrams to grams, and then from grams to kilograms. So are we going from a smaller unit to a larger, or a larger to a smaller? We're going from a smaller to a larger, so that means we are dividing on this. So going from the million milligrams to grams, well, there's 1,000 milligrams for every gram, so we're going to take our 1 million. We're going to divide it by 1,000. So the zeros, those three go away. So we're left with 1,000 grams. So 1 million divided by 1,000 gives us 1,000. Now, this is grams. We need to get to kilograms. So 1,000 grams equal 1 kilogram. We're still going from smaller to larger, so we're still dividing. So we're going to divide by 1,000 again. Well, 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1. So 1 million milligrams is the same thing as 1 kilogram. All right, so this is our metric units of mass. So here are our different conversion relationships that we have. We've got the milligrams, grams, and kilograms. Remember, the key word for this lesson is metric, since this was all the metric system, which is used throughout the world, whereas customary is used primarily in the United States. All right, hopefully that's making some good sense to you guys. It's all about knowing those different conversions. So if you get stuck on your assignment, by all means come back to this video and look at each of those boards as I went through the different conversions at the beginning, showing those. Have a wonderful week and happy mathing.